Hi guys, Chuck here, back in Planetbase. Did a few things off camera between the last episode and now. Well, we will take that. They want food and rest. Now, mainly what I did was I started looking because we're getting almost to the edge of where we can build because you can't really go over this terrain, which I think is kind of dumb. But anyway, let's see what this trader has. Um, no bots. So I've been focusing on trying to get bots. And so if you look at, like when we signed off, we were very poor and not looking any better. And I've got it up to basically improved a little bit. So what I did was I started looking at any space I had in between here that I could build. And I managed to squeeze in some more stuff. And I built a couple more sick bays and quite a few more beds. I just kind of squeezed little cabins in, like here. I was able to fit that in between these other items, and I fit a couple more of these cabins in, a couple more sick bays, a couple more of these ones with the bunk beds, and I built like three more canteens. So we had a bar out here, and I did rid of that and made it into a canteen. So now, if you look at our food, we are 160 meals for 146 people. So we haven't been having any food issues. And that seemed to improve the welfare quite a bit. And and I've built another bot workshop out here, and I've got these people making bots. And we're up to, let's, we got 9 driller bots, 2 constructors, and 6 carriers. I'm just gonna keep trying to get the bots, like, however many I can get. But I think the more carrier bots I got seem to have a positive impact as well. Although it's going back down, the welfare seems to fluctuate quite a bit, and there doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason to it. But I noticed it got better when I started getting enough medical supplies. So one of the things I did was I actually turned away a visitor ship that was going to be a large group requiring medical attention, because at the time I only had 5 medical. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if I really want to. Let's try to buy 2 of these carrier bots. I got a little money here from this. We're just going to keep spending the money on bots until we get that up to an adequate amount. And then when things get going a little better, then we'll worry about trying to get the last bit of tech we need to get all those milestones. So I need to raise a little more money. I don't like trading away too much medical stuff. I could do the ore. So we're up to pretty good amounts of metal now, which I don't understand why sometimes it doesn't give that to you down here in the base stock in order to trade. Like, you got 32 metal. Oh, yeah, you can only trade 1. Like, well, that's kind of a bummer. But I will put that in there because, let's see. I'm trying not to trade too much food, But we got 2 more bots. And my thought process, and I remember from the last time I played this game years ago, many years ago now, that the most successful colony I ever had, I had a ton of bots. And now these people paid me some okay money, but I only have 20 of it left because I just spent a chunk of it on a couple bots. So that's just kind of where things are right now. Our food stocks are in decent shape. Um, we're increasing number of meals, or at least it's holding its own between 150 and 160. Metal production is good. We have spares. I think these people are occasionally actually making a robot. And I have these set. I have that one to still make drillers, and then that one to make constructor, and then these two here to make carriers. Well, actually, that one's set to drillers. I want to set it back to carriers for now. We have like 9 or 10 drillers, and I think I've got about that many mines. So I'm going to keep tinkering with that to try to get the number of bots. I would like to get a good number of each kind. So, because I'm figuring, let me take another look at it here. Well, anyway, we got off of that very poor thing, and now there's a sandstorm coming in. So I'm trying to even see what because I didn't really spend too much time, but I kind of restructured a few things. Like I had an oxygen thing out here, and I dismantled that and put that med bay in its place. But then I was able to squeeze an oxygen in like another spot somewhere. Where did I put it now? Like I think over here. I was able to squeeze it in here instead. And I was able to squeeze in this this lab here, which helped our medical supply situation quite a bit. Now I can get rid of that alert. So I had a lot of open space where I had room for buildings without expanding out, and I had just kind of overlooked that. And that's an issue that I think you have to plan a little better on the other planets because they don't all give you the same amount of open space. Even on this one, if you don't pick the right landing spot, you can land and you're like, you don't have a lot of open flat ground. A lot of times what I do when that happens is I just like back out and start over until I get the type of landing place that I want with a lot of flat area. I think they need, and maybe, when they, Planetbase 2 is in development, and I've been kind of following that, and the developers are posting some interesting little, occasional videos and screenshots. And they've got more power options, like you're going to be able to make nuclear reactors. Well, that stinks. Meteor hit the canteen. What a way to go. You're eating your lunch and boom. So, some other things I hope they do is give us an option to, like road grade some of this stuff here. Like we should be able to build over this bit of terrain here. Make a path to go on it. Because look at this. There's a whole lot more flat ground over here. But we can't even use it because we can't get to it. So you need to be able to, if not change the landscaping, at least cross it somehow. Build a connector. Because if we could build, structures right up to here and then keep going, well, we could take this colony to who knows what kind of population. I don't, and if I had been more efficient with the build, honestly, because you look at I got a ton of land down here I'm not even using yet, and I could build power stuff all the way down here. But, I got myself to the point where you really can't redo it at this point. I mean, I could tear everything down and start over, but I'm not about to try that. And there's other limitations, like we can't attach any interior structures to this. Like, I can't put another airlock. I can't put You know, anything, you can't attach these landing pads or these pyramids or anything like that. I mean, we could build more pyramids. You can put more water collectors or power grid stuff over here, but you can't. And maybe that's a limitation they made just to keep the gameplay from getting too easy. So power storage is saying it's low. And we got a lot of metal. I mean, I could build more. Every now and then we'll have a little shortage right before the sun pops up. And I think I'll put another one of these massive collectors out here. And maybe put another one of the... Well, we just built a really big panel. And then I built another big turbine. I'm going to put more out here because with as much that I have, there's no reason we should ever be low on power. Ever. Alright, he has got the GM Onion, which I think is one of the last techs we need to get. But I don't have 540 in money, and I don't want to trade away all the medical supplies and the food. So we're going to pass on that. I've been spending a lot of money on robots lately, which I needed to do. Because, you know, look at that. We're up to decent now. So we're going to, yeah, kind of hanging between poor and decent. So... Well, we got an armed intruder. Deal with him. Oh, those guys killed each other. Look at that. Good news, you got rid of the intruder. Bad news, you kicked the bucket as well. And now there's more. Well, it looks like we got that one. And now there's another one. Well, what? We killed 4 of them when we lost 1 guy. That's still a bummer. I don't want to lose guys. I want to increase is the name of the game here. Now, we were at decent, and then it dropped that much. And I wonder how much of that has to do with these armed intruders and one of the guards being killed. You just got to wonder about that. Now let's... Oh, whoa. Visitors, none. Okay, I was like, wait a minute. I saw a 0. We got the power collector built. Structures have been built. Okay. So here we were all the way up to decent. It drops back down to poor. And it makes me wonder... how much events like that have an impact. Another thing you can do, and I've not really been doing it much on this playthrough, is you can click on people, and then it kind of tells you the guy's stats. Like this guard, he's feeling pretty good about himself. He's in good health. He's got enough to eat. You know, he's got enough to drink. Oxygen's good. He's rested. So he's good. But if you click on these sad sacks, if they'll stop moving enough, like everything else, needs are pretty good. Nutrition, okay, he's going to eat right now. But his morale is still low. And this guy here, it's hard to sometimes click on him. There we go. His morale is like, it's okay, but could be better. Now, this dude here, he doesn't have any care in the world. He's doing good. So, here a little bit ago, I had a lot more just plumb old sad faces. Now there's a few that don't have anything, and there's a few that are still kind of sad. But, and with, okay, we still got 25 metal. I still got room to grow out here. And I don't think Because we're not going to shoot to try to get this up to any crazy figure like 1,000 or something like that. So, and I don't think we need more production facilities right now, unless I want to build another robot workshop. But that might, if the population gets up. So I don't have much room left to grow out here. And if we get too many more people, I'm going to want to put beds. So I'm kind of holding off and on what else to build. And I'm going to keep an eye on food stocks. So if we get close to 200 people and the food starts dwindling, well, I'm going to have to build, one of those large food domes. If we look at the text, we got everything but one. And that's that stinking GM onion. So this farm dome is pretty big. You can plant a lot of food in there. But we're doing okay on food, but you add another 50 people, another 100 people, that might not hold up there. Well, that guy's got that, but I really don't have enough stuff to trade for that patent yet. Now, do we want to get the driller bot for 250? This guy's got a high commission, so I'm not sure I want to trade with this dude anyway. We're just going to dismiss that guy and hope we get some more of those visitors come in that we can make, a couple hundred or off of. Now let's go back. I don't think we have any worries about the grid. Water seems to be pretty good. Oxygen is pretty good. Power is more than adequate. So I'm not too worried about the grid. Now, landing permissions, we got a lot more biologists than what I got the target set at. So, yeah, 40% of the population. I have it set at 30. And we've got not as many workers as I have the goal set for. And engineers, we're right on track with that. And medics, we have enough, apparently. But I think guards, we're a little lower than the percent. So maybe once we start getting more colonists in, those numbers will kind of hopefully even out somewhat. What I don't know, and I'm hesitant to do it right now, but I've seen other people that build multiple of these, monoliths, these pyramids and things like that. And I don't know if by having multiple, does that increase your prestige and get more people to come in or not? Or is it just, just there for looks? In the past, I've always only ever just built like one of each and then said, okay, I got that done, and just moving on. Now these traders are coming pretty hot and heavy. And I don't know if we can afford to. Well, let's see. If I take these 20 coins that I've got, I throw in that metal, I'm still only at 35, and he wants 264 for 2 of them. And I don't want to trade a lot of this medical and this food. So maybe we just get one bot, and we could trade a couple of those and some of the ore. And that got us there. All right. That's not too bad. I really want to start getting some money and getting that last bit of tech. But, so if we get it, what are we going to do? Plant it in one of these domes? I think our food domes are kind of maxed out. And I've got so many of them. Hey, I've built one of the big ones here. That's one of the things I did off camera. So I built that. I don't remember. We had something else there that I took out and put that big dome in, and then I attached some more sleeping accommodations on the end of it. That's something I wish those had. They weren't just dead end structures as well, and you could attach on the other side of them. That would make things a whole lot easier. Those and the sick bays. Which maybe the sick bay, that's kind of a security thing. Because the armed intruders, I guess if you could go through the sick bays. And I don't know what I was thinking when I decided to put a connection there. Because they can't get in there. They can't get in there to build that. So they're never going to. So I might as well not even put it there. I just thought, well, maybe that would help, efficient transit. People could walk through that way instead of going around. Now, what do we have here? Small group of injured people. And we got, okay, I think we can do a small group. But the problem I had in the past was I took like these large groups of people that needed medical attention. Then they used up all our medical supplies and we weren't recouping too quickly. It kind of hurt things. And another thing that happened to me on a previous playthrough once was the people that came in were like they had some radiation poisoning or something, and some of our other people got sick. And so that was kind of like not so good. Now let's see what this guy's commission level is, and if maybe I could trade some stuff for some money. He is 35%, so let's see how bad that looks if we take all that money. All those coins. 183, that's not so bad. Alright, I don't want to... Alright, we're going to throw some vegetables in there. Alright. I know previous playthroughs I did a lot of that. I would just build up crazy surpluses of food and just keep trading it for money. But I've been kind of shying away from that here. And I'm still, tinkering with the thought of, what I want to do when I get this, how far I want to take this particular colony before I just venture into like the icy planet or one of the other planets. A couple of them are really darn difficult. And years ago I did, beat them all. And I'm wishing I had kept those saves. But I was doing that. I was playing it on my MacBook back then. And I think I deleted it because my my keyboard is running low on charge. So I better stick a USB in there so the keyboard doesn't die on us before we finish the episode. Alright, we got 150 from the miners. And I traded for some cash. So how much is that? I thought I just traded for some money as well. I guess the items haven't totally made it to the trade ship yet. Well, now they have. Okay, now we get a little bit of money. So the next guy come along selling some bots, or maybe we can get that last bit of tech. We'll just have to see how that plays out. We're still doing okay on food. I'm keeping a close eye on that because That was one of the things that I think was causing the really bad uh, welfare. Now, what's this guy have? Nothing we need. He's got more money, but do I want to trade more food? And do I want to trade spares? How much are spares worth? 15. That starch is going for 5, but I don't have a lot of bioplastics, so I don't think I want to trade away starch. I think we're going to pass on this guy. See what the next guy has to offer. So yeah, I think let's go back and look here. Resources were okay. We got 48 metal, 29 of it's free, so I guess some of it is going into building spares and making the other stuff that's going on. The same with the semiconductors. That tells me we have 6 but only 1 free, so that tells me our robot workshops are actually functioning, because that's where the semiconductors go, is toward robots. Now we just lost 2 of them to damage, so hopefully they're going to build some more rather quickly. Same with metal. 53, but 32 of it is free. Food's looking good. Medical's looking decent. People still got enough alcohol. I still think we could get that up higher. And right now, like I said, there's not much room left to build more structures. So I think the key is going to be robots and, taking some of the workload off the people. But as I say that, we've lost 3 bots here in the last couple minutes due to irreversible damage. So I guess at some point they just can't be repaired. That's kind of annoying. But, so that's where we are. We had this colony has been a mix of success and abject failure, and a lot of rebound from the failure, and constructor bot. So I want to buy the constructor bot. Wow, that's a pretty high commission. I think we're going to pass and catch the next guy. So it's been a bit of a learning experience, but I'm kind of glad I pulled this back out, because I hadn't played it in years. And to be honest, one of the reasons I started playing it again was after I started this channel. What's this guy so sad about? He's an engineer. I don't know. Obviously these videos, they take darn near as long or longer to process as they do to actually film them. Because filming is pretty easy. You just play a game and, jabber away about it. Well, then, so I thought, I'd put the video in Premiere and start it processing, get all the elements in there, the little subscribe button and all that good stuff. And then it tells me, it's going to take like 30 minutes. I'm like, okay. Then I would jump over onto my MacBook and just start like messing around on the Mac to do something while this was processing. Well, then it occurred to me, so I played this on my Mac and I said, well, that might not be a bad game to do on the channel. And that's why I jumped back into it. And now, let me do this alert. I found out that the Mac actually does pretty good at processing the videos. So I film on the PC, dump everything into the Mac, and I will let it process them, and then I'll film another one while the Mac's doing the last one I just filmed. So that way I'm able to, you know, on the days that I put into this, I'm able to sit down here and just kind of keep them churning, which is, you know, it's productive, but also it's a darn good excuse to just sit around and play video games half the day, um, and feel justified about it. So, which, you know, there are worse things that you can do for a couple hours. So anyway, that's how I got back into it. I had it on my MacBook, and it's one of those games where, well, that's what I like about Steam is, you know, if you purchase the game, you know, you can put it on any hardware that it can go on, I guess, except a console. But, you know, so I go in there and I buy a game, and I don't normally think, well, gee, is this available for Mac? Because I don't really use my Mac for gaming much. You know, not nearly. You know, I used to like play like Total War on there and things like that, but now it's pretty much a work machine. And my PC is what I call it a recreational machine. Um, but, you know, I'm kind of glad I brought it back out. You know, it's got me nice, more armed intruders. Now, do we? No, not quite. I think I would have to trade away a lot of stuff along with that money to get that. That's a high commission for that. So that guy can take his high commission and he can stick it where the sun doesn't shine. Oh, darn it. We're getting more of these armed intruders, and we just lost a dude. But we killed 3 of them, and we got another one. All right, the guard got wounded. So let's see. Let's kind of follow him. I assume he's going straight to sick bay. Let's see how long it takes him to heal up. It's like his morale is pretty darn good for somebody that's wounded. Let's check these other people. They got pretty good morale for people that are hurt. And it's all guards. So I guess your morale would be pretty good if you just whacked the intruder and he didn't get you. So you're thinking, well, he's dead, I'm not. You're feeling pretty good about that. Well, anyway, back up to 20 bots. So our robot workshops are actually doing their job. So check our creeping up there. We're about back to decent. We're going to start. Yeah, we are decent. If we can stay at decent, we'll get some more people coming in. Then we will have to. Nope. So say if we can get there and stay there, we can start getting the population going back up. Then I'll have to start thinking about, do I need to add more beds? I think as the population increases and the number of bots grow, our productivity will be fine with the buildings that we have currently built. So what I'm really looking at to sustain the population to the 300 level is really things like beds and medical care and food. So canteens. The problem is that the beds in the medical buildings are dead ends. So we have to be pretty careful with that. Now I'm looking at to see if I have any little space where I can squeeze one in. And I think I've used up all those spots. You know, where I fit another oxygen thing in here, which used to be out here. But for some reason, the medical building wouldn't go in there. But it let me put the oxygen generator in there and the medical building out here. So those are a couple changes I made. But I have some space here, but I don't know if I could build in there because it's all enclosed, and I don't think people would have a way to get in there to build anything. Now, possibly right here, but I think I checked that spot earlier. About the smallest thing you can build are these cabins, and that won't go there. So, what do we have here? Visitors. Oh, that's the same visitor ship. Those dudes that are here for the medical care. So all those people got up and moving around again. And we got another trader. He's just selling food and we're not buying food. Now, I wouldn't mind this money, but what's his commission? 65%, so dismiss him. Anyway, I've got it back to decent, and it's climbing. Maybe some of that has to do with getting more bots. That was my strategy when I, came back in off camera before I started recording. I said, well, I kind of wanted to see where things were going to go before I started recording. Just in case, things started nosediving real quick, because that's happened before. You're just cruising along, you think everything's good, and then boom, you start going down the tubes. So, we're up to 21 bots now. They're making more robots. This status, it cannot stay. The prestige keeps going up. And that doesn't seem to go back down. It doesn't seem to fluctuate as much as the welfare does. And so I kind of wonder if people are just moody. Like, well, that's going to put a damper on your spirits when a meteor hits and somebody kicks the bucket from it. Well, left the stuff he was carrying too. Alright, we got a colony of ships, so we're starting to get people coming in again. And that's kind of what we were hoping to get to. We're going to start growing, so that means we're going to start having to pay attention to things like food. And let's check the trader. 60% commission. We've only got about 300 in money, and he wants 640 for that. It is the last tech we need, but I think we can catch it on a better commission, because, well, this might just do the trick right here. 20 coins. They need some food, some water, and they need to catch some Z's. So we're gonna let those people in. And right there would be, I think, a good spot to sign off for now. It's in better shape than it was when we signed off the last time. So I think I'm cautiously optimistic, I'll just say that. And that we can get this thing where it needs to go, and then we can decide if we want to try another planet next. So I hope you have enjoyed this video or found it enlightening, entertaining, or, just a good reason to make fun of me. Whatever. And so if you did, and you can like and subscribe, I'd appreciate that very much. I will catch you on the next one.